a trendsetter and style icon in the digital fashion industry.
Was so interesting and so exciting because we were actually able to carve anything that we set our mind to.
She is taking Indian designs to the global audience.
I also have this undying love for Indian fashion. And I think that is so transparent
Yeah.
with me and my audience.
NewsX influencer A-List proudly recognizes Masoom Meenawala for influence in fashion.
Hello and welcome. You're joining us on NewsX Influencer A-List. With us today is a very special guest. She needs absolutely no introduction. So we're going to dive right in and understand from Masoom Meenawala herself what her journey has been like. Masoom, you've been a front runner as far as, the digital content creation industry is concerned, and you're still a trendsetter. Um, how have things changed? When you started 10 years ago versus today, is there a certain advantage do you think that content creators today have?
Thank you so much for having me, firstly. To answer your question, when I started off, there was no defined path. When I started off, there was me, and there were a handful of creators, alongside, and we all kind of began on this journey together. And it was so interesting because we were kind of carving the path as with every single day, as we kept moving on. There was so much fear of the unknown because the industry in itself was so nascent. Nobody understood blogging or content
Hmm,
creation. It wasn't even respected as a profession
hmm,
when I started. So there was definitely a large sort of question mark sort of a thing, as in, is this even a viable career option? Is this
yeah,
even going to be able to satisfy monetary goals that, say, for example, I had, or the kind of ambitions that I had? But it was so interesting and so exciting because we were actually able to carve anything that we set our mind to, right? We were
hmm,
able to define the industry the way we like to. There was definitely a first movers
hmm.
advantage because I started off at that point. But if I had to compare to content creators who are starting their journey now, I think it's just as exciting, right? Because this is an
Yeah.
industry that celebrates individuality, it celebrates uniqueness. So even if there's someone who's starting their career right now, they still have the opportunity to completely redefine the industry, and we've
Yeah.
been seeing that happening on the internet. There are movers and shakers in the industry that have just started creating content like 6 months ago.
Correct.
So it doesn't really matter. There was a large advantage that I definitely had, being one of the first movers. But it's an industry that's so expansive and has so much space
Yeah.
for everyone.
All right. Very interesting, Masoom, that you've spoken about content creation, right, and how there's scope for individuality. When you think about creating content, when you think about, what next, what are the few things that you abide by? What is the first thing that comes to your mind? Is it the presentation style? Is it hopping onto a trend? What is it that comes first for you?
For me, content creation is synonymous to consistency. I think above and beyond everything else, you have to be consistent.
Yeah.
Content creation requires a discipline like nothing else, because I think when you decide to put your work out there on the internet for others to
Hmm.
see, and you build a
Hmm.
community, right? And it takes a lot to build that community. You have a certain responsibility to that community to continue
Yeah.
creating, to continue showing up for them, because it's almost like they're signing up for let's say a magazine, or a
Yeah.
product, and you owe them that. uh, they've kind of blessed you with by following you, by subscribing to you, by celebrating your work every single day, and you
Hmm.
owe that responsibility back to them by continuing to create. So I
Yeah.
think
Okay.
for me, consistency is always one of the most important things.
Like, so Masoon, also help us understand, when we talk about taking digital content creation as a full-time profession, a lot of eyebrows are raised because one major aspect is the monetary aspect, how are you going to earn money? How are you going to sustain yourself? So now that you talk about consistency, does consistency play a very major role as far as monetizing your content is concerned? Or, what are the pro tips that you have as somebody who's been in the industry for so long?
So absolutely, yes, consistency does play a very important role in monetizing your content.
Hmm.
Uh, I get this question quite often because unfortunately, I think the monetizing angle of content creation is not spoken about enough, and that's something I really
Correct.
try to do on my platform. And I talk about how you can work with brands, and especially also about how content creation is such a great profession.
Yeah.
If your work is good, if you're able to build the right community, if you're able to be authentic and genuine in what you're speaking about in the category that you're talking about,
Hmm.
there is a very great scope in terms of what kind of revenue your business can actually bring home. And I think there are tons of things like any other business that need to be kept in mind before you monetize your content.
Hmm.
Sort of tip that I always offer is that when do you start charging money, right? When do you
Hmm.
start monetizing your content? And the one thing that I say is that always start monetizing your content only at a point where you're able to guarantee some sort of a return on the investment done by the brands and clients. So
Hmm.
if you're promising any type of conversion, and that might doesn't always have to be just sales, but
Hmm.
if you're building a community that will be able to talk about the brand that you're working with, be able to follow that brand, or you have a community of VIPs that can headliners in the industry that can
Hmm.
in turn benefit the brand that you're working with. There's so many different advantages that an influencer can have to a brand or a label.
Hmm.
And I think as soon as you reach a point where you can drive some sort of a conversion, that's when you start charging.
Okay, Masum, just to understand this better, how much of, let's call it control maybe, do content creators have as far as, when they, let's say, sign a deal or sign a partnership with a brand, right? How much freedom do you have to pick and choose what you want to do, that aligns with your thought process?
So this is, completely personal and differs from influencer to influencer. I would
Hmm.
like to speak on, of course, my behalf. So I think my team and I both are very stringent when it comes to choosing what type of brands that we work with.
Hmm.
Right, there has to be a certain genuinity, authenticity, and also aesthetic match to my audience, because I have a
Yeah.
very clear understanding of who my audience is, where they come from, what they like, what their preferences are, and especially what they're coming to me for, and the kind of content that they're coming to consume from me. So we're very stringent in that process. Apart from that, in terms of what kind of freedom we have when it comes to
Hmm.
specific campaigns, um, usually the brand that you're working with will outline the campaign details before you get into any sort of contract or official
Yeah.
engagement with them. And then the ball is in the influencer content creators court, where you decide that, do these campaign guidelines work for you, do these
Hmm.
limitations or do these terms and conditions work for you or not. And then depending on what your audience is, or what your style of working is, what your ethics and your culture might be, that will help decide whether you say yes for the deal or not.
Hmm. Okay, all right. Um, so then, Masoom, very interesting that you talked about your audience. You, of course, are someone who's been living in Europe for the longest time. But your audience, from what we understand, is inherently very Indian, right? How do you strike the balance between living in Europe and being somewhat in sync with what your Indian audience wants? Is that difficult sometimes?
Um, it's actually not that difficult, to be honest, because I've lived my whole life in India. Even now, I spend pretty much half my year in Europe and then half my year in India, because my
Hmm.
family is in both places. And also, very importantly, my work is primarily in India,
Yeah.
which keeps bringing me back. I also have this undying love for Indian fashion, and I think that is so transparent
Yeah.
with me and my audience, and the kind of relationship that my audience has with me. It's kind of undeniable. So I, no matter what, I'm always wearing Indian fashion, which means posting about Indian fashion, which in turn is celebrating Indian fashion. So
Yeah.
even when I'm attending, being in Europe actually has helped me. Has helped me actually have access to a lot of global trends, a lot of
Hmm.
global fashion houses. But I think one thing that I ensure, even when I'm attending international fashion weeks, is I'm always wearing Indian labels, or trying my best to, as far as I can and as much as I can. because there is just so much heritage and culture and
Yeah.
craftsmanship in our fashion, our industry, and because I have the privilege of actually living in Europe,
Yeah.
I take it as my responsibility to take Indian fashion, to the world.
Also, I think that's very in line with, the overall motto and agenda that you have at this point, right? Which is taking Indian fashion to the global audiences, to, a world stage, which kudos to you, Masoom, for, having delivered on so brilliantly. As somebody who follows you, I can, tell you that it's an absolute pleasure to see the work that you're doing. Masoom, it's been an absolute pleasure having you with us on NewsX. More power to you, and keep doing what you're doing.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.